Hey guys, it's Monk52 here, and today I'm going to discuss the patch notes. Before I do that, please make sure to like, subscribe, and give a comment in this video. I'd be more than interested to hear your feedback on this, and if this is something you guys want for me to continue doing, because I don't often do many just pure discussionary videos, I can do this more often. Additionally, in the link below in the description, I have a link to the Discord. I have a link to a new PayPal setup where I can, you guys, if you want, if you feel so. Obviously, I'm not going to ask. I'm not actually going to ask here. Saying if you want to, you can. If you don't want to, perfectly fine. Don't bother. You can donate to the channel, and that way I can get premium ships that I haven't covered. Because obviously, I'm not a CC. Not yet, at least. We'll get there, maybe. But in order to test some ships and do some guides on certain ships, I will need the additional funding. So, if you're really interested and you really like masterclasses, then yeah, feel free to give it a go. If not, or if you're just not comfortable with that, that's perfectly fine. And I honestly do want to force anyone to do that. So now that necessary shilling and at the start of the video has finished, this is an Amagi game where it's just me and a division, me and Mutsu, and an arena with just two-man teams with a battleship and a cruiser. Now, the focus in this video is really on these new patch notes. So let's discuss them. Tier 7 British heavy cruisers are being announced. The Tier 7, the Albion Marvel, and it's getting a radar, which is very useful. The Albion Marvel does have the 27mm plating and the 32mm deck. So it will be actually quite resilient to 15-inch guns. So ships like the Torpedes and Albion Marble and Vanguard might be a little bit troublesome to deal with. Angling will be effective, and the deck armor as well can bounce 16-inch guns if the situation arose for it. So yeah, British heavy cruisers, they'll be very interesting to see. The Tier 7 Okachov, if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. It does have 8 152s. That's a lot of. It's not a bad amount. 52 152s. I believe the Kutuzov does have 9. Yes. Yeah. I think it does have 9. So we'll see. I think it's going to be a bit more of a focus of a kiting focus. I don't see its real uses besides the additional radar. It's going to be like a Kutuzov but with a radar instead of a smoke, which is really not bad. We'll see. We'll have to take a look. More information will be on that with when the ship is shown in the next campaign. New campaign boat, new campaign ships, new Admiralty backing. Again, they're really normal rewards. Not many insignias. I noticed only 1 insignia. Well, 4 insignias for the whole campaign, which is really, you could really get some more maybe. The way they've done ranked, it's going to be much more easy to get ranks because every rank is irrevocable, which will be nice, but it could still cause some problems. It's going to be everyone can. It's just I just don't know if ranked is going to be. It needs to get sufficient rewards in order for people to play ranks, and that's the biggest problem with ranked because the incentive for it is not worth the grind. Because it costs like so you gotta do like nearly almost I don't know, borderline 100 matches to get these rewards, and it's a lot of work. My biggest cusp though with this next update, so I've discussed the general rules for ranked. I'll just go over them very briefly. So players will not inherit any stars from the previous seasons, which is interesting. Teams consist of 5 players, which is good. Division of up to 2 players are allowed. I would like 3, but 2 is understandable for a 5-man game. 1 per team for destroyers. Players who reach rank 1 will no longer be able to participate. Every rank you get is irrevocable. So that's a big thing there. And that is an interesting way how they're going to see. And honestly, we'll have to see. Now, new American Destroyer Commander. This I really am not a fan of because just from balancing reasons, I feel it's going to be very annoying. So we have Albert Gleaves, who is running basically a full-on Tanaka build here, but it gets an additional torpedo skill there. You see that? I'm looking at the patch notes right now. So his base trait is increased range of your torpedoes, which all I'm thinking right now is Russian Ochotnik now has 5 km torpedoes or better, and all the Russian boats have better kilometer torpedoes. Or the Shimakaze has better kilometer torpedoes, or the Benham is more importantly has better kilometer torpedoes. Subsurface Venture is going to be ideal for the Benham and maybe for the Monaghan, maybe the Sims, stuff like that. You've got Concealment, Normal Concealment, you've got Fragile Threat. Really, you're kind of steering the American destroyers, which are gunboats. You got to remember, the whole thing that makes the American destroyers fun and engaging is because they don't have the torps, at low tiers at least, to actually stealth torpedo targets. You have to use islands, you have to be smart, you have to be ambushy, you have to ambush your targets. And with this new commander, it's kind of saying, no, don't do that, play them like a typical Japanese DD, which arguably may be stronger in certain respects, but it's not that fun. So you're kind of really taking the point of the Japanese destroyers, and you're just giving them to the Americans. The Americans don't only have the best guns, they've also got very good torpedoes. So kind of making the American destroyers a little bit too overpowered, I feel, with this commander skill, and you're kind of nerfing its only the good point of the Americans, which is its guns, and you're kind of just downplaying it. I'm a bit worried with that third skill. Third line down, we've got back in stock, we've got Torpedo Safari, and it looks like a standard fall skill. So it's like the British skill here for Adrenaline Rush, but it looks for torpedoes. So it could be another focus on torpedoes. This is one of the most heavily focused torpedo commander we've had, more so than the Japanese, which is a little bit concerning. So yeah, this is going to be a concerning indeed. I think this would be a huge balance issue for the game, just purely because of the base trait, and ships like the Benham are going to be much stronger, and I think the Benham is in a really nice position the way it is, so I feel they're adding unnecessary power creeps here. So this could be a problem, this could be a big problem. I understand the community did ask for this to an extent. I just think we really need to be careful what we ask for, because this thing could cause some serious balance issues that a lot of people are really unsure about. I think this could be a lot of problems, this new destroyer commander for the Americans. New projects in the Bureau. I'd love to know what they've done to change the Conqueror and the gearing, if at all. We really should find this stuff out. Because I really was happy with how the Conqueror was, and the gearing, I feel that the torpedo range is a bit excessive, and they're also fast as well, so it's just fire and forget, really, torpedoes, and it's not even sea mines. They're very quick, so I'm worried about what the actual change is going to be. I was hoping they'd nerf the gearing a little bit, and they'd keep the Conqueror the way it's the same. But we'll have to see. We will have to see. I do hope that they're going to tell us what they changed about the gearing in the Conqueror. But we'll see once they are, released. So, balance changes. Bismarck got a much needed buff. I was really hoping they'd fix secondaries, but they haven't, which is a bit upsetting. So main battery accuracy is improved by about 3%. I'd like to know the exact number, but okay, about 3% is good enough, I guess. Guaranteed ricochet angle for main battery shells increased from 60 to 65 degrees. Now that means Bismarck will be able to damage even more angled targets which cannot be overmatched by 380mm shells, which is 15-inch guns. Now, Bismarck sorely does need this, because Germans have very good penetration, but their penetration angles, which the angle the target presents in order for you to actually get a comfortable penetration, is very bad. So buffing that is a really good buff, and I'm really happy with that. So this Bismarck definitely does need these buffs. In terms of other battleships, it's not a bad ship, but in terms of other particularly really strong battleships like the Iowa, the Jean Bart, the Massa, the Lenin, the Vladivostok, the really strong ones, this is a nice buff to help. It's not going to fix anything really, but it's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice quality of life improvement for the Bismarck. Really was looking forward to seeing secondaries being reworked, because they did mention this, these 105 secondary guns, which is the majority of the second guns of the Bismarck, doing almost no damage because of their penetration values is just god awful. So they really need to address that at some point in a patch note. They've addressed it on a stream, but they've not addressed anything in particular. So this is a real ask for the community, and I think secondaries should be a viable weapon, because the Germans really don't have much going for them for battleships. They have the turtleback, yes, but it doesn't really matter when you can just smack the Bismarck through the superstructure for 20k. Not a problem. You have so much superstructure, it's not even funny. Plus the angle. If you look at the armor scheme on the Bismarck, realistically, it does not really show that in game. It has a very good icebreaker, and it has angled armor that can easily bounce the Yamato. But whenever I'm in a Yamato, I have no problem doing anything to the Bismarck. I think the armor in the Bismarck is still a little bit broken. I think that needs to be looked at again. Now, another buff, the Zuma is getting an accuracy buff. Oh my god, I've been speaking about this accuracy buff for a long time, and I'm happy they've actually listened to me here. Obviously I don't make too much of an impact in this game. I'm not that big a YouTuber, but they have listened to what I was saying months back when I did my Zuma Masterclass. I do actually hold a record for the Zuma. And I feel with this buff, people are going to start playing it and my record will get shattered. So, we'll see. Main battery accuracy improved by, again, about 3%. I want to know exactly, but whatever, it's fine. Rudder shift is decreased from 13.9 to 10.7. That's a pretty significant buff. Nearly 4 seconds. Well, 3 point something, but that's a significant buff. They really changed the wording this really badly. Angle at which AP shells start checking for ricochet increased from 45 to 50 degrees, which will increase damage inflicted to angle targets should they be sufficiently angled. This means the penetration angles. When a ship fires, when a shell hits a target, if it has a couple of ranges on it. So you have the guaranteed penetration. You've got the RNG penetration, so it will either bounce or it will pen, and then you've got the guaranteed ricochet, so it will just automatically shatter. So the middle part is the RNG ricochet part. This is all on my Discord, so please take a look at my Discord. If you're really unsure about this, look at my Discord. It's all I've got a particular image for you that will highlight this exactly. That image, the guaranteed RNG part. You're trying to say that part is increased. So if a ship is angled to you, normally before this buff, the Zuma will have no chance to actually do some penetration. It'll be guaranteed ricochets. But with this buff, it actually has a chance to do a penetration rather than a guaranteed ricochet. It's still RNG, but you'll have a chance now rather than a guaranteed ricochet. So that's very good. Other changes, very important actually, I saw spawn points for the shards map. That's actually the worst map, have been tuned a bit. So that's these. Okay, they've just been tuned a bit. Okay, I'd love to know what they've been done, but it's fine. Whatever, tuned a bit. Legendary ships receive specific spawn points. That goes on to the topic me and Zarkun discussed about legendary ships being spotted at the start of the match without even moving, like the Yamato on Two Brothers and stuff like that. So this will be interesting to see if it's just for shards or if it's also for places like Two Brothers where you're instantly spotted. Polar map was added to tier 3 battles in domination mode. That would be nice. Polar map is actually quite a fun wee map, so that would be interesting to see. Additional code redeemer, by the way, I can link that in the description if you guys want. You can just pop that thing there. Again, it's on my Discord. Active duration for consumables can no longer be less than 1 second. It won't really affect us very much. It's more for balancing their own issues that you could have with that. Now we've got St. Patrick's Day content. Now clearly they're trying to bank on the success for the previous Christmas containers we had that got us the key and stuff like that, where they had people trying to get themselves a key and trying to get the 100,000 doubloon prize. So they've continued it and relabeled it as a pot of gold. So that will be pretty good. really careful about not going for this, and they do let you warn. So really, to be fair to Wargaming, I'm quite happy with how they've worded it. You know, advise you not to go running and trying to get the 100,000 balloons because the chance is significantly low. I don't know if any of you guys be interested. I wouldn't be interested in the St. Patrick's Day camel personally, but that's just me. German battleship Odin will also be available for 750 global XP. I'm confused they went for the Odin because it's a little bit strong, really strong, because it's got the best armor of all the Germans. It's also got sonar and torpedoes, and it's got a very fast firing, very good penetration gun. So I'm kind of worried the Torpedes going to get left out a little bit to dry. So also, maps are now distributed evenly across all battle tiers, so we're actually going to get a mix of maps much more often, which is really nice because you used to get the same map quite often. Of course, aircraft carriers have been removed because this was a test event. And the new premium ships in the store as well, the Italian Tier 5 cruiser, the Duca di Acosta. Interesting, no information on that. And then we're getting the Okerlin, which is a pan-European Tier 6 destroyer that has radar. We knew one thing about that. We didn't know anything about the Duca, so that would be very interesting to see what they've actually done with it. Bug fixes, dev streak medals weren't being received, so they fixed that. Loading issues, problem technical skill not showing their proper actual duration, incorrect duration, incorrect information about detectability when firing secondary guns. Rare cases, PlayStation players not being able to connect to the game, and where Battle Zoom was causing issues and stuff like that. But overall, a very interesting patch notes. I do worry a lot about this American Destroyer Commander. That's my biggest concern. I would really, really hope they tuned this guy down and took him out a little bit, because I'm really concerned about his base trait. And I'm really concerned about his third skill, third line down on the far right side. What could that skill be? Please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I hope this helps guys out. And please, before you go, give this video a like, give it a video dislike. Tell me what's going on. I really want to know how can I improve my videos, because the only way I can grow, the only way I can help you guys get more entertained by the content I'm producing is if you tell me. So please let me know. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.